Welcome to another episode of Fringe
Beyond Limits.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hey, happy
Hi.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween. I love this time of year. My favorite holiday.
Is it really your favorite holiday?
It actually is.
Oh, Daddy.
I'm terrified.
Give me some candy.
It's gross. The Nights of the Creeps.
Do you have a Halloween costume? Are you
Yeah.
dressing up?
I don't like the dressing up aspect of Halloween. I like the scary aspect of Halloween. Why you give me that look?
Because that makes no sense.
I don't like to dress up personally. I like to see like how everyone else dressed up. I like the scary stuff. I don't.
Ooh, I get it. You're a voyeur.
No.
Oh,
She enjoys...
you found her kink.
Yeah, she enjoys voyeurism. I don't like to partake. I just like to watch.
It's actually fun going to haunted houses and watching people get scared. That's actually even more fun.
I bet it is a lot of fun watching.
Well,
Yeah.
you're usually with me, so you always
I
have fun
know.
with it too.
I know. We watch together.
Are you guys going to any haunted houses? Do you have any planned yet?
Not because I don't.
Yeah, we probably will. Just we need to get together and brainstorm and see who we want to watch. So yeah, ever since you told me about my voice and how it sounds so sultry and jazzy.
Can you do that voice at work when you're talking to like your clients and customers? Like, hi.
Hi, doctor. I'm here for my
Do you think you get a lot
prostate
more?
exam.
You think you got a lot more sales that way?
No, I would probably not. I would probably get hung up on a lot. So, but yeah, it was Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a special episode. We're going to be telling you some stories we pulled from the interwebs.
The interwebs.
Yeah, the old
Google or the internets of things.
the Internet of Things, the old Google machine.
We
Mhm.
do the Google.
We did a Google, and
Got some good ones for you.
we picked out my nose.
You know what we should have done? We
What's
should
that?
have all worn vampire teeth while we did this episode.
Want to suck blood?
What do you want to say? What do you want to say?
Fuck.
Yeah, I'm game. Let's do this. I mean, if you can't do it with your family, who can you do it with? So, all right. Well, before that, we do things that keep you up at night, right?
Yeah.
You know, do you guys want me to go first this time? Because I rarely go first. I
I
feel
know.
right.
Go for it.
Do it.
All right, I'll do it. All right,
Do it
so
now.
do it now. Do it.
Do it now. Do it good.
Be careful of my neighbor. I have a horrible
Anyways,
Arnold. All right,
That was Arnold.
no.
That was more like, hey, Arnold.
Hey, Arnold.
What do you got for us?
All right, so what if once upon a time someone wished that no one's wishes would come true and it worked?
That's a bitch move.
What a fucking prick,
That's
right?
bullshit.
I want to find that mother trucker.
what the fuck?
Find him and, do bad things to him.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crap.
Right. Well, what if that was the case? And that's why no one's dreams and wishes come true anymore.
That's kind of
Our birthdays have all
Interesting to
been a
think about.
lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shooting stars are garbage.
Yeah.
My mind's been blown.
All those eyelashes I've been...
Okay, so you're sucking and blowing?
Uh-huh.
All right. Party.
We've covered the whole
Yeah.
thing.
We were
Front to back.
You know what I've always wanted to do?
Uh-oh.
I'm scared for this one.
Yeah, you should be. I've always wanted to kind of I got this from a comedian, and ever since I heard him say this, I wanted to do it. Is you put your mouth around the girl's opening and just start yodeling. Just this,
How the fuck did we get here?
I don't know. But I forget
That's the
what,
question for every episode, though.
I forget what
Just for
comedian.
all of our ones of listeners, how good is your yodel?
Mm.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, no,
No.
not happening.
That wouldn't
Alright.
cut it.
What about
So gross.
I'm taking my headset off.
I
I can't unhear that.
Don't stop there.
That sounded so moist.
Hmm. Yes.
I wish you would stop.
So very moist.
So that stupid guy wished that my wish wouldn't come true. That fucker.
Oh, what an ass. All right.
What an
Yeah, so that's mine. That's what kept me up.
Nice.
Yeah. Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
She's going to steal yours again.
No, she won't.
Actually, I
If
don't. Mine are
If
different.
she steals mine, then Brian would not be living in her house right now.
Oh. All right.
So, just saying.
He's not right
I like
now.
how she said it's my house, not his house. My house.
Mm-hmm.
So we were speaking about vampires earlier. So basically, you know how like when people portray vampires are like this gorgeous creature,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't look at themselves in the mirror. So how do they always make sure they look gorgeous?
Other people tell them.
But how would they like? It's hard to be like, oh, put this on and put that on, make your face look like this. It's like trying to figure out.
Do you think because they have extrasensory perceptions they can just see themselves?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, like I'm sure there's powers that vampires have that we're not privy to.
I mean, there's like some stories I say the vampires can actually see their reflection, but there's other stories that they say they can't. There's the ones that can't see their reflection. How did they know they look good?
They're the ugly ones.
No, they could be the ugly ones.
They're the ones with the gangly teeth and the sunken eyeballs. They're not the pretty,
You mean Trailer Park Vampires?
like the Bram.
Bram Stoker? Yeah.
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 His vampire is scary.
Yeah.
And not pretty. And not like the Twilight
Well,
Beautiful.
he was old.
Well, I'm just saying.
You saying old people can't
Those
be
are the
pretty?
ones who can't see their reflection.
Are you saying old people can't be pretty?
No, you said that.
No, I didn't. Because
You said he was old. I said he was.
what's the English actress Helen Mirren? She's like 80. I would bang her right now. She is beautiful.
You,
Okay.
you do that.
Yeah.
You would bang anything.
I mean, most.
Most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything is going a little too far. I have turned down sex before.
And
then nothing happened. I went home.
I went home.
And that's how that story ends. Yeah, I mean, I have turned down sex before.
That's nice.
It's not. I regret that decision every time.
Well,
sucks a suck, doesn't it?
It
Blows
doesn't.
the blow.
It doesn't. I didn't. None of that happened.
none of that happened.
I didn't suck. They didn't blow. It was a lose.
Do you think it was a wish that didn't happen because of that guy?
Yes.
What an asshole that guy
That
again.
guy. This fucking guy. I'm going to find this fucking guy.
If you're that guy, please send us an email so we can motherfuck you till the end of time.
Motherfuck you.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay. That was a good convo. Yeah. Good job there, Pri.
You're welcome.
You suck. Lynette?
I don't think I told you guys this. So the other day, around 2 a.m, my TV in my bedroom turned on. Like no remote. It turned on. Like not.
Like it doesn't have a remote?
No, the remote we put them in the bedside table drawer or whatever, the nightstand drawer.
Mm-hmm.
It turned on.
Interesting.
And
Were you in a movie of Poltergeist?
it kind of like JT just was like, and he rolls over and go to sleep. And I'm like, hello, it's 2 a.m. and the TV is on by itself. That hasn't happened since I lived in Yorkville with my sister.
Oh, do you think the thing found you? It took him like
Maybe
7 years or however long it's been?
Yeah. I don't know. But
No. Let us know if it happens again.
what would Brian do?
What would Brian do?
Scooby-Doo through the wall.
Probably.
Yeah, it would be a Brian-size hole in the wall.
What would his shit meter be?
Yeah.
Probably. Well, depending on how deep of a sleep he is in. Because he probably sometimes
How
he'll.
deep of a shit he gave
Right?
he's in.
Because there's times where he actually like interacted and everything while he was sleeping. And he doesn't remember it the next day. So it just depends on how bad he's sleeping.
So I would say it'd be like a 2.
What if the TV turned on and it was this? Like, would it make a difference if it was like a kid show versus a gory movie or something? Or how loud?
Do you think that there's a message depending on what's playing on the TV when it turns on by itself?
I mean, I don't believe in coincidences, so I like to read between the lines and think that. Same thing, you get in the car and there's a certain sentence or something on a commercial on the radio or a lyric of a song or something.
So what do you think the ghosts are trying to tell you, that if the TV turns on by itself at 2 a.m. and it's porn?
That
Maybe it was like an incubus or succubus that turned on the porn for you.
Ooh,
oof.
hey,
Okay.
I'm game either way. I don't care who they are.
You just want to be a demon.
I just want some semen.
That too.
Yeah.
Some specimen.
Some specimen.
Or like a sailor semen.
Specimen? No, specimen.
Specimen. Get it right.
Specimen.
Cybertooth.
That's right. Cybertooth tiger.
Or,
So, all right.
yeah.
Well, that was fun.
You ready to start some scary shit?
Yeah. We're going to read you guys some scary stories that we found in the interwebs.
Mm-hmm.
The Google machine was running on overdrive. We wore it out, kind of like Bree's butt plug.
Yep.
No.
Oh, like mother, like daughter. So
Okay, that was not necessary.
it was so funny. I loved it. So, all right. Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Yeah? Okay.
Sure, why not?
All right. So
All right.
we'll go first. Who's going to go second?
I go second, I
You'll
guess.
go second. All right.
I guess.
Okay.
Who's gonna go third?
The ghost.
The ghost of
The
Frank's
ghost.
booty.
Papa Francesco.
The ghost of Frank's booty. Okay. All right. So go ahead, Lynette.
Okay.
Take it away.
This story I found on Reddit. It was submitted by Infamous Good 3835, and it is titled "Never Quite Believed in Ghosts, but Things Are Getting Worse and Weirder." All right. So Infamous Good goes on to say, "Well, I never in my life thought I would be posting about spirits. Period. I've been a skeptic for years. So in June of 2023, my wife, fiance at the time, and I moved into her dad's childhood home together. Moving in was no issue, and I didn't feel uncomfortable, except for the basement. But aren't all basements kind of creepy? We get set up, and all is good for some time. Maybe a month or so in, I started having horrible nightmares. I couldn't remember nightmares at first. I just woke up with the covers removed from me and being very cold. Another month or so, I started having extremely vivid nightmares about spirits in the house and it being extremely responsive to my commands. Some examples he's saying is, if you're real, open the door, slam the door, etc., which it did every time. I thought nothing of it, other than maybe it was just the stress of the dream or what have you. After I started having these nightmares, I started seeing shadowy blobs in the corner of my eye, moving very quickly and probably no taller than 3 feet. This started slow, but I started seeing it almost every few minutes, all day, every day. I thought I was going crazy, and I had not told my wife about the dreams for that reason. For months after this, I would feel small ice-cold spots on my calves as I cooked in the kitchen or in the living room. I can only describe them as little paw or handprints. As time goes by, I started noticing that items would disappear almost immediately after my wife and I would set them down. We chalked them up to being forgetful or whatever. Soon after, very specific items would go missing. We would look everywhere, and it would turn up in a place we had definitely looked in. My wife had been reluctant to believe me and assumed that I was just forgetting. However, these instances have recently gotten a lot worse. Earlier this week, my wife and I had placed our CBD vape pen on my bedside table to charge. When my wife went to grab it, it was gone. She was not too concerned, so she and I literally searched every square inch of the bedroom, in the drawers, behind the table, in the bed, everywhere. I had gotten so frustrated I decided to take a shower, and when I returned, my wife sat on the bed, pale and looking terrified. She told me that she had found the vape, and I asked her where it was. She points to a spot in the middle of the bed, clear and plain view. We had cleared the bed and searched everything everywhere. She said that while I was in the shower, she said out loud, "I don't care who has it or where it is. Please return my vape to us. Just help me find it." And seconds later, when she looked down next to her, the vape was sitting right there. At this point, she was visibly shaken and said she feels like something was in there with her. We decided that this is something unusual, but don't know how to proceed. Then the following day, we noticed a lot of things had moved from where we had left them. It seemed to have revamped up its behavior. We get on our day nonetheless. That night, I'm cooking dinner and take all of the ingredients out of the fridge to cook. I set the chicken on the counter and cook the rice and vegetables. I turn back around and I see the chicken is gone. I get the most intense chills and goosebumps I ever have felt in my entire life. I head to the living room and I ask my wife if she has seen the chicken. She says it's on the counter. I tell her it's gone. She rolls her eyes. We both search the kitchen, the cabinets, the trash, the sink. We opened and emptied the refrigerator and even the dishwasher, and it's nowhere to be seen. My wife decides to try asking again for the item to be returned. And after she does, we look again and it is laying in the middle of the fridge in plain view. We both stay silent and decide to sit and calm down. After which we call her father, who tells us that he has never experienced anything paranormal except that he got an uneasy feeling in the basement. At this point, we've called her mother and some of our friends to see if we are crazy. And now I'm turning here to vent, but also to see what the hell is going on. Haha.
So
I think the chicken ran away and came back.
So I will tell you that Missy and I seldomly won't be able to find some whatever we're looking for. And we both do what this couple did. We look everywhere. And we do think that it's either her grandfather, Tony, or my mom fucking with us. We'll then be like, fucking put it back, you know? Just stop fucking around.
Yep.
And we'll walk out and we walk back in. It's somewhere in plain view.
Right.
Like it's obviously in front of both of our faces.
Yeah.
So I totally understand what this guy and his wife are going through because sometimes it happens to Missy and me.
Yeah. I like this story too. Literally this morning. So for the last 2 weeks, I've been looking for the box to one of my camera lenses and turned my house upside down. Emptied closets, open drawers, went upstairs in the basement, in my office, in bedrooms, could not find it. And finally this morning I was like, will you please just put it back to where it was? And I turn around and it is right behind me.
That's crazy.
Right fucking behind me. So I don't know who or what or how this shit happens, but it's fucked up.
It's probably the same porn star that puts on porn in the middle of your house. That's probably who it is. So yeah, that was fun. That's a fun little story. I understand the frustration.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that
Why?
Yeah, it's crazy that, but this also goes to like, I guess now that I think about it, like some people just aren't open to paranormal experiences. So maybe that's why her father never experienced.
Yeah.
And maybe for whatever reason, maybe their belief in being cold stone skeptics made whatever is there be like, well, I'm going to challenge you.
Yeah.
And them being maybe having a sixth sense and just being open to an experience like that.
Yeah.
Get quote unquote bothered.
Right.
Question mark?
I don't know. So infamous good 3835. You're not alone. This shit happens to
It sounds like it happens to everybody. Yeah.
Everybody. All right. Bree?
What?
Oh, no, never mind. I thought you and I had the same story. Never mind.
Say.
All right.
No.
Go on.
Bree has a habit of stealing people's brains.
I don't.
I know.
People.
I know. She does.
I'm just psychic like that.
No, not a little bit. You're
No, we're going with I'm psychic.
Okay. What number am I thinking of?
69.
Nope.
72.
Nope.
0.
Fuck you. That's the number I'm thinking of.
All right.
No, I'm joking. I was thinking of porridge.
Let's see if we can get through this without getting made fun of.
No.
Okay, so this story is from Reddit user singlemom241, and she titled it The Mimic. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I call it The Mimic when I was 17 for almost a full year, or a whole year, almost every time my mom and sister were out of town for the day shopping and I was home alone, I could hear it. Keys jiggling in front door and the click of a lock, the scrape of the door sliding open and closed. As the dogs rushed out to the front door, barking to greet whoever just came home. I'd hear my mom or sister yell at the dogs to stop and that they live here, and the dogs would stop barking and go back to their business. I would get up and go say hi and help out things away, and nobody would be there. It stopped happening once I started staying in the bed and calling my mom to see where they were instead of getting up to greet them. Once after my mom had surgery, she was staying at her parents' place for a few weeks to heal. I brought my dog for a walk, and when I came home, my mom's dog, who was asleep in her room, started barking. I heard my mom tell her, "Shelby, stop barking." And after a few more barks, she listened and stopped. I ran to my mom's room to say hello. I hadn't seen her in a few weeks, and at that point, didn't know she was coming home. But her room was empty. I still don't know what it was or why the dogs listened to the disembodied voice. I don't know why it was stealing my family's voices. A lot of other shit happened at that apartment, from knocking in, yes, in, the walls to claws scraping down my closet door. This is 100% true. Has anyone ever experienced something similar? In the same apartment, my sister had just left to her boyfriend's, and my mom was at work. I started feeling sick one day, and I grabbed a banana and went to my room to try and feel better. Almost as soon as I got to bed, I heard a knocking from inside the walls. I could replicate it exactly by knocking my knuckle against the wall. I called my sister crying because I didn't know what it was, and she came home. But just before the front door opened, the knocking stopped. She made sure I was all right, then left again, and everything was quiet. I stood up to go throw my banana peel away, and as I was walking past my closet and out of the bedroom, I heard one final knock in the walls. A few months later, I rearranged my bedroom and set up a little reading corner where I was leaning against my closet in a little blanket nest I had made on the floor. It only happened when I was leaning against the door for over 20 minutes. But anytime I would be reading in my little nest, I would hear and feel the vibrations of the door rumbling against my back. What sounded like claws dragging down the inside of the closet door trying to get out. It only happened 3 times before I rearranged my room again. This time I put my bed against the closet door so anything in there couldn't get out. Mind you, my closet was completely full to the top. A kitten couldn't fit in there. So I don't know where the sound was coming from, but it certainly wasn't the 3 garbage bags pressing against the door. I still heard things coming from my closet after moving my bed against it, but I felt safer knowing it couldn't get out. I still don't know what it was in that apartment, but I'm glad it didn't follow me when we left. This part she edited to add to her posting. It says, I just remembered at the same apartment, I was laying in bed with my hand over the edge when I heard a loud bang, like as someone punched my dresser across the room. It made me jump into the middle of the bed, and a few seconds later, my bed started aggressively vibrating the floor. She also edited to the original post that in her house, before the one I moved out of, a few days after my mom and I moved in, I was talking to one of the neighbors, and she brought up that I was so young to be into older men. I questioned her what she meant, and she said that the night before at midnight, I was at my window smoking my bong, and there was an old man standing behind me. Me and my mom lived alone, and no man would be in our house at night. Attic was in my room, and we put a latch lock on it because it flew open one day, and I heard stomping around in my room like a man in work boots. Multiple times, the latch would just fall, and I had to pull the chain tight to lock it so no way it could have fallen. One day, the latch fell, and there was no way possible to relatch it. That day, the attic started banging open and closed repeatedly for about 15 minutes right in front of me. In the house I just moved from, my sister had the basement for over a year. Everyone in the house changed rooms, and me and my daughter would move to the basement. One night at 2 a.m., I woke up to my bedroom door creaking open. I just moved my eyes to look at the door and saw a skeletal-looking hand reaching out into my room slowly. It got about halfway to the elbow before it just stopped for a few seconds, then slowly moved back out. As soon as the hand was out of sight, I whispered to my dog, "Go look in the hall." She
Poor
was
dog.
watching, right? She was watching the door too, and she got up, jumped off the bed, and ran into the hall. She came back a few seconds later, and I immediately jumped up, ran, and slammed the door shut and locked it. It couldn't have been my sister because the stairs are creaky, and she wouldn't have been able to get back upstairs without me hearing. Naturally, I was up the rest of the night. When the sun came up, I waited another couple hours till about 10 a.m. and went upstairs to her room to wake her up, asking why she was in my room the night before. And she was confused. She says she hasn't gone downstairs since she did laundry that afternoon before. We were the only 2 people home. After that, my daughter, who was about 18 to 25 months old, would periodically wake up from her room next to mine and just scream. My sister agrees with me that it wasn't normal to screaming. She was terrified. One time I went in her room when she started screaming, and she ran to me and just clutched onto me so tightly. When she learned her words about a month later, she would say, "Go, go," at nothing. We just moved 2 weeks ago, and she's been talking to the closet before bed, the attic and the closet. And sometimes when we're downstairs, she points to the stairs and waves and says, "Upstairs, bye-bye."
That's creepy.
That's super creepy.
Kind of gives you the chills at the kid part, like,
Oh, yeah.
"Bye-bye, go, go."
Yeah. Single mom 24-1. Call me.
Well, this thing about the mimic. So a couple years back, we had some family friends staying with us for a few months while they were having their downstairs remodeled. And one time she was home alone while the rest of us were in the office at work, and she was taking a nap or something, and she heard someone come in downstairs, walk around, and she swears she heard my voice, almost like I was talking to somebody on the phone on speakerphone or something like that. Like she could hear a conversation but couldn't make out the words. And when she stuck her head out, nobody was home. And she said that it happened a few times where she heard my voice.
Wow.
And then my sister's been stayed the night at her house dog sitting, and she's expressed the exact same situation. She'll either wake up in the middle of the night hearing me or people talking downstairs, or walking around and stuff. So this mimic thing really struck a chord with me.
Yeah, when I read it, I was like very interested in it because I've always heard stories about mimic spirits or mimic whatever they are, even if they're not spirits, whatever the case they are. And just I kind of want to experience one on my own. Just get the experience, but
it almost makes
it's just
you
interesting.
Wonder, could it be a residual haunting from a living person?
Yeah,
like it doesn't have to be a deceased individual.
So there's been two
or a
times...
dog for that matter, because didn't they say there were dogs barking, but there weren't dogs home or something?
No, she said that her mom wasn't home,
and
but the dogs were barking at something. But all of a sudden, she heard her mom when her mom was at home saying stop, and the dogs stopped barking.
Yeah. So this has happened 2 times, maybe 3, 2 times for sure, where I'll be home and I'll hear the door to the garage open and I'll hear Missy's voice go, "Babe." The dogs would even react and go to the door, and I'd get up because I'm like, what, because she needs something, and no one's there. I open the door to the garage, her car's not there, but it wasn't just me reacting, like our dogs reacted too, and it's just like, oh shit, what the fuck was that?
It's wild.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
I like that one. Good find.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I try.
It's harder, please.
And I did good reading. I was proud of myself.
You did.
No, so
rude.
Well, I have a newfound respect for you reading because it's hard. Just in general, like on these screens, it's hard to read.
Oh, it is, and
long sections.
Yes.
I just felt like I was back in school where I was like, when they were like, do the whole, we're gonna go around the room and everyone's gonna read, and then like I was like, it's closer and closer to my part. My heart starts like beating, and like get so nervous, and
I don't get nervous.
It makes it worse.
I don't get nervous.
Good for you.
I don't have nerves.
Well, good for you. I don't care about you, so
I know you do. I know, that's fine. So, all right, the story I found is called "The Smiling Man," shared by Reddit user blue_title. It's an unsettling story, recounts a chilling encounter with a man who seemed anything but normal. The storyteller, a man who enjoyed taking long walks through his city at night, one night found himself walking through a quiet, mostly empty neighborhood around 2 a.m. He had done this many times before and had never felt uneasy until this particular evening. As he walked, he noticed a man in the distance walking towards him on the opposite side of the street. The man appeared normal at first glance, but something about him was off. He was unusually tall and had an odd, unnatural gait, almost like he was dancing or gliding as he walked. As the distance between them shrank, the storyteller realized that the man was smiling widely, in a way that seemed frozen and eerie, like a caricature. The man's eyes were wide and staring, giving him an unblinking, unsettling appearance. He wasn't looking around or at anything in particular, just staring ahead with that grotesque smile plastered on his face. As the two passed each other, the storyteller felt a cold wave of terror wash over him. Something wasn't right. Instinctively, he looked over his shoulder to see if the man had passed by. To his horror, the smiling man had stopped walking and was standing perfectly still, staring directly at him, still smiling that same unnerving grin. Trying to ignore the fear creeping up his spine, the storyteller quickened his pace. But when he looked back again, the man was now crossing the street, walking directly towards him. His bizarre dancing gait made the scene even more surreal and terrifying. The storyteller began to run. At this point, the smiling man started running too, following him, but still with the unnatural flowing movement and the eerie smile. Panicked, the storyteller ran through the empty streets, weaving and trying to lose the man, but every time he glanced back, the smiling man was there keeping up with him. Finally, after running for several blocks, the storyteller rounded a corner, ducked behind a parked car, trying to catch his breath and hide. When he looked out cautiously, the smiling man was gone. The night was quiet again. He never saw the man again after that, but the encounter left him shaken for years. The smiling man's unnatural, eerie presence has made this story one of Reddit's most haunting and memorable encounters.
Do you think it was a smiley face murderer?
I think so.
That's fubbed up.
So what would you guys do?
Cry.
I would have Brian
Brian.
I would. Is that a verb? I would Brian myself out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's now an adjective.
Yeah.
Meaning
Scooby shit and Scooby Doo.
shit. Yes. Yes. I Brianed all over myself.
Yeah.
Definitely a Brian right there.
I'm sure you would go face it.
You
But
know,
like, what if it was like a real like psychopath,
so here,
Gacy type of?
right. So I'm 50-50.
Okay.
Like I really am. Like as I'm reading, I'm like, what the fuck would I do? Like, would it creep me out enough to be like, I don't want anything to do with this thing? Or would it intrigue me enough to be like, I'm going to tackle him?
Yeah.
He wants to run at me. I'm getting in my 3-point stance and I am taking this fucker down. Because, so I am now down to under 240, by the way.
Oh, congrats.
So I am probably around 235,
Nice.
which means I have lost officially 60 pounds.
Good job.
Woohoo.
So my mass is less. So I probably wouldn't be able to hit him as hard as I typically.
But you might be able to run faster.
Yeah, maybe. No, but yeah, I would spear him so hard, or I would run like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that this story was kind of cool. I liked it.
That's wild.
So all right, yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to go next?
I got another one. This
Yeah.
one's a little shorter.
Okay.
This was a response to a Reddit post of what's your downright scariest real life story. This comes from Isa Miracle. It's a miracle.
Moral girl.
Isa, no do this.
Isa Miracle. I really like
Do you
the
know where
name.
that's from? Isa.
No.
Is it a movie I didn't do?
Yeah, it's Star Wars,
Nope.
No.
like the prequel trilogy, which was not good. I can't remember the guy's name. It's a stupid.
I've only
Character.
seen like 3 Star Wars movies. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway, here's the story from Isa Miracle. I used to sleepwalk when I was a child. We lived in a rough neighborhood in Decatur, Georgia, and I would wake up outside in the middle of the night, not knowing how I got there, and I would have to walk home. However, the time that scared me the most was when I was about 9 years old. I woke up and found myself with the bedroom curtains drawn back and staring out the window. As I came awake, I noticed a very large and completely hairless man, no eyebrows, no hair, etc., staring at me and slowly inching closer to the window and closer to my face. He was looking bewildered, like he wasn't sure what he was seeing. At that moment, I realized what was going on, and I started screaming uncontrollably, frozen in place and peeing down my leg. The man freaked out and screamed, did a tumbling move, and then ran off in a weird zigzag like he was trying to dodge bullets. My mom woke up and thought I was probably had a nightmare. The next morning, we found a screwdriver on the front porch and damaged the door jamb and door handle. I still just about pee my pants when I tell this story, but now it's usually from laughing. I would never forget the look on his face when I started coming to life and screaming, or his high-pitched scream, or his duck and roll dodging and bobbing all the way down the street. So this guy actually posted this story in a couple different threads, but I looked at other stories and he's got other, I used to sleepwalk and had this, used to have sleepwalk and have that. So what the fuck, who the fuck is that?
That's fucking nuts.
Right?
Yeah.
So what if this was just like an innocent sleepwalking guy?
Maybe.
You know, like
the hairless person?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
also sleepwalking and
Yeah.
not realizing where they were?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of crazy.
Because
Right.
what's that?
And that's why he
What's that condition when the people is when they have no hair? Is that condition? And starts to
Alopecia?
yeah,
Alopecia.
alopecia. Yeah, because he could have a guy that had that in sleepwalking.
But maybe that's why he was so startled as well, is that the kid screaming
Yeah.
woke him up. And so he screamed and just took off like a bandit in a zigzag. I mean, it's really weird that you're running a zigzag.
Yeah.
I mean, the
He
only
was being
time,
chased by an alligator.
I was
Come
gonna
on.
say,
That's
the
what
only
I
time
thought
that
I was
helps,
going to say. Not bullets. I thought I was going to say alligator.
Yeah.
Especially in Georgia, right? Don't
Yeah.
they have alligators down
So what was that one medicine that helped you sleep?
Ambien.
Ambien,
Yeah.
yes. So
People
I
have had like some fucked up things happen with them on Ambien.
yeah, so I took Ambien. The only thing it did was make my dreams really vivid, but that was about it. But like I read the possible side effects: sleepwalking,
Mm-hmm.
sleep eating,
Mm-hmm.
sleep driving,
Jeez.
and sleep sex.
Sleep sucks.
Yeah,
But I thought sleep
What-
paralysis was also on there too. So like
Maybe.
be halfway through
Maybe.
driving or halfway through sex and then you're frozen.
That would suck if someone got like pregnant or pregnated somebody sleep sex scene.
So
Sleep
I told Missy, I go, listen, if you ever find me somewhere else in bed having sex with a sandwich. It wasn't me.
Sandwich.
It wasn't me. It's the Ambien.
Not an apple pie.
So no. So every time I cheat on her now, I make sure there's a sandwich next to me. So
And the same bottle of Ambien just in her back pocket.
yeah. She still thinks I'm on, even though it's been discontinued for years. She still thinks it's there. So that was a good creepy story.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Brianna, do you want to
I'll go next
go
again.
next?
Yeah, so my next story is from Reddit user Sarah Dumke, and I decided to call it The Unhappy Uncle. Earlier in my relationship with my boyfriend, I would stay at his house a lot. There was one night I was super restless and could not get comfortable to fall asleep for the life of me. I migrated from the bed to go lay on the couch so I didn't wake up my boyfriend from constantly readjusting my position, hoping to get comfortable, then getting pissed off because I couldn't fall asleep. Hey, that was me last night. It was around 2 or 3 o'clock a.m. when I plopped myself on the couch in defeat. I was scrolling on my phone for a few minutes until I looked over towards the hallway because it felt like I was being watched. There's a shadow figure peeking out from the corner of the hallway over 6 feet off the ground, focused on me. I'm not sure how long it's been there watching me at that point, but it was unnerving to say the least. The whole head wasn't visible, but it was legitimately trying to be sneaky and peek around the corner without being detected, which made it even creepier. It felt like the figure was staring in my soul. I couldn't make out its features, but I didn't have to in order to know it was fully focused on me. The feeling of something watching me was enough of a hint. I stared back at it for a minute or so to make sure I wasn't hallucinating, and also was processing what I was seeing. As soon as I clicked that I was having a staring contest with the shadow figure, I audibly said, "Nope," turned over to face the couch, and knocked out within a few minutes. My boyfriend gets spooked fairly easily, so I decided to keep that encounter to myself the next day. While I was home alone, I saged the house and gave the spirit an eviction notice. Fast forward to the next night after that experience. I woke up in the middle of the night to my boyfriend shaking, sitting straight up in bed. He woke up to bright light shining through the window. I asked what happened and asked if he was okay. In hysterics, my boyfriend informed me that he saw his uncle outside of his window staring straight at him, with headlights shining behind him. My boyfriend then explained to me that his uncle was killed in a car accident at a relatively young age and never met him. Turns out his uncle has been seen multiple times by his cousin, who has a lot of resemblance to him. My boyfriend also has a lot of resemblance to his uncle as well. I guess he visits the family members that look like him since no one else in his family has had any form of encounter with him. The experiences I heard about from his cousin consisted of him just watching him while peeking around the corners. I put the two experiences together and figured out that it was his uncle. I'm pretty sure his uncle was not too thrilled with me for kicking him out of the house with the cleansing I did earlier in the day. He made sure my boyfriend knew he was present regardless of being banished from the house. The presence didn't feel menacing or evil when I saw him. Looking back, the presence felt familiar, yet not at the same time. It was definitely not the most comfortable experience, since it was a large, dark figure peeking around the corner, solely focused on me while I was alone on the couch in a completely silent house. Just for fun, I decided to pull up the ghost communication all the next morning while my boyfriend was away at work, and the words that popped up instantly were car, headlights, and crash. If the app is a hoax, it definitely made me fooled by how relevant the words were to recent experience. I kept the app open for a while and asked questions and hung out watching the words that came across the screen with correspondence to the question. It was an interesting experience to say the least. I haven't seen his uncle at all since that night. We moved, but I'm waiting for the day to be reunited with that dark figure peeking around the corner watching me.
I think the uncle's trying to touch her. I had an Uncle Touchy who had a no pants basement.
Congrats.
Yeah, I mean, I think I won.
Okay.
I don't know what I won, but I mean,
You win a prize.
Well, I'm wondering, what if the uncle is actually their biological father or his biological father, because he looks like his cousin and he only visits people who look like him?
So
That's interesting.
So there's a father uncle. Did they say this was from the South? Because that would make sense.
Maybe.
A funkle.
Yeah. No,
that was interesting.
That's a fun uncle.
I wonder what app she used.
I don't know.
Yeah, if it was a iPhone or
Oculus
Android
or phone app or yeah.
Maybe.
That ghost detector app that we used to have.
Remember that? That was so stupid.
It made for fun.
It was fun. Yeah. It was like, oh, there's a ghost right there.
It's
No,
like
there's not.
Right next to you.
Right. Right.
Maybe it really works.
It's like, it's right next to you. And
Maybe.
you look, it's like, Frank, you're right next to me. You're a ghost.
Yeah.
That's ectoplasm right there on the floor. All right.
I just love the part where she's like, nope, but then turned over.
No, they just passed out.
She's like, nope. Oh, I'm expecting her to run out of the place and to a hotel.
Just hard no.
Hard
I'm
no.
not gonna roll over.
And yeah, I'm just going to roll over now. Go ahead. You can have your way with
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
As long as my back's turned, that's all that matters.
Prone, yeah.
Yeah. I already said no. It's non-consensual at this point. All right. So this story comes from Reddit user Rational Psychic, who shared a terrifying childhood experience with an entity they refer to as the Whistler. That's right, baby. Yeah. Have you guys ever been catcalled before?
Yes.
Have you really?
Yes.
Yeah, you?
I don't know. I'm trying to think back and I can't remember. I'm going to say no.
Did it make you feel uneasy, Lynette?
Yeah, because I was like 16.
Oh.
I was.
Oh, wow.
I worked for my uncle who used to build houses, so I had to drive stuff over to construction sites,
Mhm.
and there was just like 30 men, sitting outside eating
So the
lunch.
stereotypical construction
So
workers.
this is like
Yeah,
this is like from the movies.
fucking creepy. Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
wow.
yeah. So definitely didn't make you feel comfortable.
No, I was just curious. Oh, well, I mean, yeah,
Because
as a
nobody
16
lived in these neighborhoods. They were brand new construction neighborhoods,
Oh.
so there was
It was like not really public.
Yeah.
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 Nobody'd
Well,
find.
I also didn't know.
They'd bury
No,
me in
was
the
it?
basement.
Yeah, no, I didn't know if it was like yesterday or
Oh,
when
no.
you were like
I'm
16.
too old for that.
This is true.
Nobody can't call me now.
no,
I'm too old.
no, only cougars.
Yeah.
All right, so the Whistler. The storyteller grew up in a small town in Florida in a house with a large backyard that bordered a thick patch of woods. As a child, they would often play outside with their siblings, enjoying the warm evenings. It was during one of these evenings, when they were around 8 years old, that they first heard it, a strange, tuneless whistle coming from the woods. At first, the whistle was faint and distant, but as the nights went on, it became more regular, always starting around the same time, just after dusk. The whistle had no particular rhythm or melody. It was just an eerie, continuous sound that seemed to be calling from deep within the woods. The storyteller's parents brushed it off as nothing more than an animal or perhaps another child playing nearby, but the storyteller had a growing sense of dread about it. One night, the whistle came closer than ever before. The storyteller and their younger brother were playing in the yard when they heard the whistling sound again, this time much louder, as if the source was right at the edge of the woods. Frightened, they ran inside and told their parents. But once again, they were reassured that it was nothing to worry about. However, the whistle kept getting closer, and the atmosphere around it became more menacing. One night, while the family was inside, the storyteller woke up in the middle of the night to hear the whistling right outside their window. Frozen with fear, they lay still in bed, terrified that whatever was making that noise was watching them. The whistle persisted for what felt like an eternity before fading away. Things escalated when the storyteller's younger brother started hearing the whistling inside the house. He claimed that sometimes, late at night, he would hear it in the hallway, as if it was slowly moving through the house while everyone slept. The climax of the story came one evening when the storyteller was out in the yard, again just after dusk. This time, the whistling started, but instead of coming from the woods, it was coming from directly behind them. They spun around, but no one was there, just the empty yard. The whistling, however, was unmistakable, as though something invisible was right next to them watching. This was the last time they ever heard the whistler. The family eventually moved away, but the story stuck with them, leaving them to wonder if it was some sort of malevolent entity attached to the house or the land. Years later, the storyteller would share their experience on Reddit, where others have recounted hearing similar, eerie, unexplainable whistles in isolated areas.
You know what that sounds like?
What?
Skinwalker.
Oh, yeah.
Skinwalkers are
Ooh.
known to whistle, and that's also like I think a lot of native cultures forbid, or it's taboo, or it's considered dangerous to whistle at night
To whistle.
because you will
Yeah.
be communicating or causing a skinwalker to come
Oh, that's interesting.
toward you.
Yeah, and also...
Did it say where they were from? It did.
No,
Oh, it
it
said
didn't.
small town in Florida.
Did it? I don't
So,
remember.
but I don't know.
Yeah, and also, speaking of Skinwalker, that also is relevant to the mimic story, because Skinwalkers always tend to mimic others as well.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And the hairless Nightwalker, because they were all
Oh.
walking
At night.
in a distorted fashion. So
Yeah.
your
In a
first
zigzag.
your first story with the person gliding and walking all dancy. You got this one person walking zigzaggy. You got
Yeah, mine was just, no, mine was just the weird walking smiling
okay,
man.
yeah,
Yeah, both of mine were, and then the mimic over there.
yeah.
Maybe
Maybe this is all the same thing.
yeah, maybe it's all just a Skinwalker.
Fuck.
That's fucking crazy.
That's awesome.
Oof.
All right. Who's next?
Me.
Who's me?
That's Lynette.
Lynette.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
This story comes from Fubar Is My Life, and I titled this story, This Fucker Stole My Parking Spot. This one's really fucked up. Okay. I always park in a certain spot at my job for the last 12 years that I was there. It was accessible to the public. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Let me start over.
No problem. Go.
Skirt. Go back.
I always parked in
All
a
right, see you
certain
guys next
spot.
week. Never mind. We're done.
I'm a terrible reader, guys. It was accessible to the public as it wasn't company parking that they wanted us to park in the back of the lot, so the closer spots could be available for the customers. One day, my spot was taken by a dark tinted caddy. That's a Cadillac, in case you're not sure.
That was a golf caddy.
Or a golf caddy, yeah. I'm immediately pissed because everyone knows it's mine. It's morning shift, so 4 a.m., so it can't be one of the others because I know what they drive. So is this a newbie or maybe another employee from another shop in the plaza? It's still there on my lunch break and when I go home and the next day. I come in at 1 p.m. till close, which is around 9:30, and then also the next day. Something about it is really bothering me. It smelled wrong. Literally. It's in the South on a hot summer day. Who knows what's baking in there? My dad was a Marine, then a police officer. He always said if you feel something wrong, there's probably something wrong. So I dialed the non-emergency contact police number. I felt like an idiot, but every time I walked by, it bugged me. So I was stuck waiting for over an hour before anyone shows up. And honestly, if I hadn't been off the next day, I would have been like, F it. But I waited, mostly because I can be a really petty son of a bitch. And that's my damn spot. The police show, all annoyed because who knows how many of they can't park here calls they get. They run the license plate through and then the thing starts going crazy. They want my info, want me to contact my manager. Does this lot have cameras? Have I touched the car, etc.? Apparently, the car is on an Amber Alert as of last sighting of a missing person who was a minor, a 15-year-old girl. When they pop the trunk, they find her dead, mutilated body under a blanket and the source of the smell. She had gone out with her much older, controlling, insecure boyfriend, but he had decided to get out of the relationship. She only made the mistake of getting into the car with him. He drove 3 counties over after torturing her and stuffing her in there and who knows what else. Then parked and walked away and left her to die in the trunk. I never learned the time of her death, so it haunts me, something thinking she might have been saved if I had made the fuss earlier. So listen to your gut, even if it seems petty.
That's kind of creepy.
Dude, that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Super fucked up.
I don't
That's crazy.
understand why mostly men feel the need to murder their significant other to get out of the relationship.
Right.
I don't understand it. If you want out, just walk away.
Right.
Like, no harm, no foul. So I think, you know what? This is going to be a firm stance from our podcast. Don't kill your significant other if you want to get out of a relationship. Okay? Doesn't make sense.
Nope.
Oh, God. I mean, in all honesty, she was probably dead before the car was parked there because they said that the body was mutilated.
Yeah, but probably just parked it and just left the car. And...
Yeah, she was probably dead or she was unconscious and never regained consciousness, you know?
Yeah.
So I get the guilt that he may be feeling, but at the same time, I don't think it would have mattered, unfortunately.
I don't know, but can you imagine just the trauma of you being in that?
Jesus.
Like you were this
Yes.
Fubar Is My Life? Like,
Yeah, no, I can't even imagine.
That's a lot of therapy.
heck yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you were talking about the guy?
Yeah.
Lynette?
The guy who wrote this story? Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about from the girl's perspective.
Oh, well, also.
Yeah, that's where my mind went to.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, both. 100% both. You okay?
I got flailing elbows right and left. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, your Italian's coming out and talking with
I know it's hard to read and not move your hands because that's what messed me up on my first story. I kept scrolling to the bottom of 20,000 line spreadsheets trying to find my spot.
That's all right. I do it all the time when I read shit. You know, every time I'm reading, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, all right. Miss Brianna, do you want to read your next one?
Yeah. The next one is from Reddit user Hot Dogger 2020.
All right, real quick. That's a fantastic name.
Right? I love when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's awesome.
It would
Hot
have been
Dogger.
so much better if it was Hot Donger.
Okay.
8 inches.
Anyways.
Round.
So, again, username Hot Dogger 2020. He or she labeled this creepy hunting encounter. Once I held a hunting lease in Middle Georgia. It was an abandoned hunting camp that hadn't been used in several years. I'm not superstitious at all, but this place was legitimately spooky. It was miles down an overgrown dirt road and completely surrounded by woods. It's probably the most secluded place I've ever been. I used to hunt there by myself a lot, and there was always this weird sense that I wasn't alone out there. There was a locked gate at the front of the property, but it was not uncommon for us to find the front door of the cabin open, even when the door was locked. That was pretty creepy, but that's not what the story is about. One evening, I was hunting down in a small valley by a food plot we put lining a creek that bordered the property. From the minute I sat down, I had a weird feeling like I wasn't in a safe place, even though I was holding a .308 with a ballistic tipped rounds. I didn't feel like I was the top predator out there. I didn't see any deer while I was sitting in the stand, but the forest was abuzz with activity. Birds, squirrels, and other critters singing their normal evening symphony, and then all of a sudden, silence. Everything just stopped. It felt like something in the woods was there looking right at me. It was getting dark fast anyways, and I was extremely creeped out, so I packed up my gear, started to walk back up the cabin about 100 yards away. I had this feeling that someone was coming up behind me. I spun around and pointed my rifle down at the path towards the food plot, and that's when I saw it. There was something standing in the middle of the path. It wasn't a person, but it didn't look like a deer or anything I've seen before. There was hardly any light to make out any features, but it was almost looked like some kind of bipedal deer or something. It was just standing there, staring at me. I quickly made my way back to the cabin, packed up my stuff, and got out of there. I just let the lease run out and never went back after that.
It's another skinwalker.
Yes.
It's Georgia again, too.
Yeah.
We have
2
Florida
feet
and Georgia.
with, I'm assuming probably
And a
antlers.
deer head, yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking really creepy. Like,
When I think of a skinwalker, I think of like a deer wolf man type of thing.
so if I was in that situation, I may have shot at it and then it would have killed me. You know?
I would be so scared to shot because what if that someone's just up at something? And then I would accidentally shoot somebody, but without like really
Yeah, that's true too.
But
justification.
it's hunting season if they're not wearing orange.
That's true too.
Well, that sucks to suck.
Or holler out. I don't know, Willow, but like if you holler out and it's a person, they're like, oh, sorry, man, it was just me wearing a don't shoot me costume in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, but I mean,
can a bullet kill a skinwalker if it turns its head and starts running after you?
I think a silver bullet can.
I want to say, what can kill Skinwalker? That's the question.
know.
Well, you know, when we do
Soap
our
and water.
episode on skinwalkers, we'll find out, you know, whenever that is.
True that.
So that was creepy.
That was, yeah.
I liked it. All right. This deeply unsettling ghost story on Reddit as the Seer of Possibilities, originally shared on the No Sleep subreddit by user Collins Reese Jones. The storyteller, referred to as Peter in the tale, begins by recounting how an innocuous series of messages from a mysterious person named the Seer turned his life into a living nightmare. It all started one morning when Peter received an email from an unknown sender with the subject line, "I can see what you do." Peter was understandably confused, thinking it was spam, and ignored it. The next day, he received another email from the Seer, claiming that they had been watching him and offering a strange proposition. They would send Peter daily predictions about minor events in his life. If Peter followed those predictions, he would be rewarded with something beneficial to him. If he ignored them, things would turn disastrous. At first, Peter didn't take it seriously, thinking it was some kind of elaborate prank, but the emails kept coming. The first prediction came the next day, a small and seemingly trivial event. Today, at 3 p.m., your neighbor will drop his groceries. Sure enough, at 3 p.m., Peter witnessed his neighbor accidentally spill his groceries right outside their apartment complex. He was unnerved by the accuracy, but dismissed it as a coincidence. The next few emails continued with these predictions of small, insignificant events. A child will cry outside his window. A car would honk at a specific time. A delivery would be late. Each time, Peter would brush it off, but then it would happen exactly as the Seer described. Intrigued and a little disturbed, he responded to one of the emails asking who they were and how they were doing this. The response was immediate. "I told you, I can see what you do. You can ignore me, but if you do, things won't go well for you." Peter was skeptical, so he decided to ignore the next prediction. At 6:45 p.m., A bird will fly into your window. When it does, open your door immediately. At exactly 6:45 p.m., a bird crashed into Peter's window. He didn't open the door as instructed, chalking it up to a bizarre coincidence. A few seconds later, there was a loud knock at the door. Curious but weary, he didn't open it. After a few moments of silence, he peeked through the peephole and his heart sank. Standing in the hallway was his ex-girlfriend, who had broken up with him on bad terms months earlier. She was holding a knife, looking unstable and furious, as if ready to confront him. Eventually, she left, but Peter was shaken by how narrowly he had escaped a dangerous encounter, all because he hadn't followed the seer's instruction. Realizing this was no joke, Peter started following the seer's emails religiously. The predictions came stranger and more invasive. One day, the seer told him to throw away a pen on his desk. Peter hesitated as it was just a pen, but followed through, throwing it in the trash. Hours later, he got an email saying, "Good choice. The pen was poisoned," right? Peter's life became consumed by these predictions. He couldn't ignore them because whenever he did, something bad would happen. But the tasks grew more and more disturbing. One email instructed him to push a man on the subway platform just as his train was approaching. Horrified, Peter refused, but the consequence was immediate. He lost his job. The next day, due to an inexplicable error that he couldn't defend, the seer sent another email simply stating, "I told you." As the emails became more sinister, Peter began to question if the seer was controlling fate or simply predicting it. Either way, it was clear that his compliance was crucial to avoiding disaster. The most disturbing request came when the seer instructed Peter to go to a nearby park and wait at a specific bench at 10 p.m. There, he would meet a woman and be told to do something terrible. Desperate and trapped, Peter went to the park as instructed. When he arrived, a woman sat next to him and told him that he had to push a young boy who would soon pass by into the nearby pond. He would not die, she assured him, but he would suffer. Peter was sickened and horrified, but he knew from experience that ignoring the seer's commands would result in something far worse. The moment came. The boy jogged by with his mother. Peter's heart raced. Could he really do this? In a split second of panic, he stood up, shoved the boy in the water. The mother screamed. People nearby ran to help. Peter walked away, feeling nauseous and disgusted with himself. But when he returned home, there was another email waiting for him. "Well done. The consequences have been avoided for now." After that night, the emails became more demanding and morally bankrupt. Peter was asked to do increasingly terrible things: sabotage relationships, betray friends, manipulate strangers in ways that damaged lives. He was completely under the seer's control, his every move dictated by this invisible entity that seemed to know the future, yet was playing a twisted game with his life. The story ends with Peter contemplating his hopeless situation. He's trapped, unable to ignore the seer's commands, yet each one drags him deeper into moral degradation. He wonders if this all will ever end, or if he will eventually be asked to commit an atrocity beyond what he can bear.
That's super fucked up.
What would you guys do?
I would go in a corner and cry because I would feel trapped.
Right. But what would you do? Would you continue?
I would be so scared that one of the consequences would be my own life. It's just hard because, like, part of me would be like, yeah, keep continuing because I'd be so scared of my own life. But some of the stuff that he has to do, like pushing a kid or he could have pushed that guy into like the train thing. Like in my head, I'm like, would I actually do that? Like, I can't see myself doing it, but I also like, I'm too scared for my own well-being. It's like, so am I going to be selfish for myself or selfless and do these people?
At what point do you decide, or do you even think about, am I schizophrenic and is this all in my mind?
Ooh, damn. That's a good twist.
You know?
Well, it's interesting you say that because I feel, this story sounds like a mix of Baby Reindeer and Can I Tell You a Secret? I don't know if you've heard or seen those films.
I did not do those movies.
What?
Yeah, no. Sorry.
Nope. So Can I Tell You a Secret is a true story.
Yeah, no, tell me the secret.
Oh, no, that's the name of the show.
Oh, I thought you wanted to tell me a secret.
No,
all right.
He was getting excited there for a second.
Can I Tell You a Secret uses similar psychological tactics, but through text messages. It makes me wonder, like, okay, so in the 70s, 80s, we had crazy, in my opinion, peak of serial killers. Is this psychological sociopath the new serial killer, if you will? Like the new epidemic?
Maybe.
Because it also made me wonder, how many other people is this person doing it to? So maybe this person told someone, you need to take your pet bird and you have to slingshot it into this person's window at 6:45. Otherwise, something bad's going to happen to you. Or...
yeah, it's like a chain of events.
Yeah, he's orchestrating everything.
It's a puppet master.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's a new kind of sociopath.
I just think it's schizophrenia, you know? because it's perfect because no one else knows anything about these emails
Well, he could save them and take them to the police.
if they're real. What I'm saying is,
Well,
I'm saying that they're not real. That these are all
someone's excuse to do bad things.
not someone's excuse, but they're all
The
hallucinations.
emails told me to do it.
They're all hallucinations. The email, the woman,
I mean, you could say that, but give me your server.
Oh yeah, give me your IP address.
Yeah.
And tell me where you live, and I'm gonna come over and we'll just hold each other for a long period of time. I'll fold you back into sanity.
Oh, God, no.
No.
You're the one who
That's
drives us
not
all to
being
madness.
Mm.
But it's also kind of like, was it The Watchers? Did you watch that movie?
Yeah, I told you
No,
about
not
that
The
movie.
Watchers. What's the one with the neighborhood? The person who gets letters in the mailbox.
Oh yeah,
That's a real story, too.
Yeah.
It is real. That's another future episode. Oh, such a good story.
I thought it was the Watcher.
Or maybe
It might be The Watcher, yeah.
yeah, The Watcher.
Not Watchers.
Yeah, Watchers is actually. I like the movie.
Yeah, it's The Watcher.
The Watcher. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
based off a true story from the Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The show was okay. I didn't really like. I don't think it did the story justice. It was okay, but the story itself is real creepy.
Really creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope this was a spooky Halloween.
Yeah.
This was a fun little episode. Maybe we'll do more of these.
Yeah.
Frank brings the tricks.
Oh, well,
Brie and I brought the treats.
I was like,
That's
who's bringing
right.
the treats?
that's right. I'll bring the tricks. You guys will treat me.
No.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
No? All right. Well, if you guys have any scary stories, please email us, frank@fringebeyondlimits.com.
Yeah, we would love to share and get your story told out there.
Yeah, let's do, why don't you guys send us some stories and we will do a listener story episode. You can get aired. You can have my sultry voice read your words back to yourself.
Oh, Lord.
Here's where the schizophrenia comes in.
Does that sound delicious to you?
No.
Now everyone's going to have nightmares.
That's it. You're getting one Tic Tac in your Halloween bag. Licked Tic Tac.
You make it seem like I would enjoy that. I usually X-Lex myself.
Oh,
All right.
Well, this was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, this was a good one. Anything else to add, ladies?
I hate reading out loud.
Yeah. I like reading, but not out loud. But stay spooky.
Stay silly. And
Stay safe.
My name is Frank.
My name is Brie.
And this is Lynette.
And you've been listening to Fringe
Beyond
Limits.